and you're creating a course with buttons, the first thing you want to think about is you still have to add all the materials to your course so you have something to link to before you set up your buttons page. So if you notice, like in Allie's course, if you scroll down, she has all these buttons, but all of the buttons actually link to items in the folders below. Like in my digital, and she actually has those folders visible on the page so students can still click into them. What I did on this digital resources page was these three links, they're kind of in this hidden folder. So this folder sits on the page, and I just kind of created this folder, and you have to have some sort of text in it, so I just named it a dot. And all of the materials for this sit in this folder. I have a lot of unpublished stuff, but here's the folder for the student quick links, digital books, and the research tools. So you'll see like all of that is listed right here. But it's a little bit hidden from the page, but it is in the actual course. Because when you are in your course, some of the items, some of your buttons might actually link to hyperlinks that you've gotten off the internet. It could be resources or videos or things like that. But you might also be linking to items within your course. So in order to generate those hyperlinks, what you would do is like click on an item in your course. Like if I was to click on this particular page, once I have it open, I can just go up here and copy the URL. So I'm going to click on the URL to highlight it, and then right click and say copy. And now when I make my table, I will actually use this as the hyperlink from the button in my table. So the easiest way to create a page in Schoology that you can kind of format in the way that you want and that you can add your buttons to is by clicking on add materials and choose add page. Now if you've never used the page feature in Schoology, you do first of all have to title the page. So I'm going to say test button page. But this is really like a word processor now, and it does give you a little bit of free form. So for instance, if I wanted to add a picture onto the page, so let's say I wanted this picture on the page, I'm just going to copy. It allows you to really, like, you can come in here and just right click and say paste, and it'll paste that picture right in. You can also, obviously when I pasted something or bring a picture in, often you have to resize them because they do sometimes come in quite large. But here's an icon on my page, and now I can actually move this. You know, you really don't have, you doesn't have text wrap option. So what a lot of people like to do is, let me just move this down, is they like to add a table so that they can align their buttons in a table. So if I wanted, let's say I want 4 buttons across the top of the page, what I would do is add a table and just use 4 cells. And then I'm just going to resize this to be close to the length of the box. I can get rid of the little space up here. Oops. And then what I can do is I can take these icons and just drag them into the table. And so on this one, I'm going to add something that I've already saved. So let me add a button that I've saved on my computer. Okay, I guess we'll use this button. Okay, that one came in super huge as well. And so I'm going to need to click on it and resize that as well. Pardon my time here in resizing. And then, honestly, I would probably also highlight all of this. So I might highlight my whole cell and just say center everything so that these icons are now centered in the table. And then I would add a couple of more icons. And you can resize these and make them even smaller if you want. This one seems to have a space above it, so I can delete that space. So now I want to add, I want to add some hyperlinks to these. So what I would do is select the item, and then I would come up here to insert content and say link. Now you can link to a website, or if you want to link to something that's in a different course, like if I wanted to link to the digital books page that I have in Schoology, what I would do is have it open and come up here to find the link, highlight it, and I'm going to copy that link. Now I'm going to go back to add my link, and I can either do Control V to paste it, or you can right click and say paste, and I'm going to say insert. So now that's hyperlinked. Now when you go to, and then you can continue to kind of build this page the way you want it. I do think the easiest way to do this is to create a table and kind of line your icons up in the table. When you click into the table, you do get more icons here, so if you hover over it, will tell you what they are. Now sometimes you can have the border of your table show, and you can click on this icon to either make it invisible or to make it show. So I'll make it show for now. And then when you're going to finally publish your page, you do want to make sure that this little icon at the bottom, you don't want it to be turned off. Like right now it's turned off, and if I hover, this whole page is going to be a link that I have to click on to display in a new page. I don't want that. I want it to display inline, and so I want to highlight. I want this button to be highlighted. So now when I hover, it says display inline. That means it's going to be embedded into the page. So when I click create, it's actually just going to show up on the page like this. So when someone comes to my course, they're going to see it just like this. And so if we click on this link now, it should take us to that digital books page that we had linked to before. You'll notice that pages in Schoology can be formatted really in any way that you want. For instance, this is a page in Schoology, and if I edit it, I can see that what I did was I created a table and I put the icon on one and used text on the other. Now if I wanted to get rid of the border on that table, I would just unclick this, and when I click Save Changes, you'll see the lines for the table will disappear. So now they're no longer there. So it looks like that I had free-form control over where I was putting all of these pictures. Another example would be, here's another page in Schoology that really is just a lot of copied and pasted text, but there are hyperlinks in the middle of it as well. So you do have a lot more freedom in terms of pasting items in Schoology and then embedding these right into your Schoology pages. It's a great way to it's a great tool to use to create your buttons pages. There are people that will actually, they're more comfortable creating the layout in Microsoft Word or in Google Docs, and so what they might do is design and create everything and even add their hyperlinks, and then select everything in that file, copy it, and then come into a page and just paste everything. The pasting does do quite well in the Schoology pages, so that would work as an option as well.